How we doing, everybody? Welcome to Cooking with Cap Times. I'm Rick with Door County Brewing Company, here to talk a little bit about our brand new hazy IPA called Bare Bottom Madness. It enters our new seasonal lineup in the calendar. A little bit about the brewery. We started about 2012 as more of a farmhouse brewery, saison, to kind of play off a lot of the Belgian history and tradition that exists here in Door County. A couple years ago, we have a spun off a sister company called Hacienda, which has also been very popular, that excels in the hazy IPAs, mixed fermentation, and the big stouts and lagers too. So, but back to this guy right here. Bare Bottom Madness is brand new for us this year. We're pretty excited about it. It is a 6.3% hazy IPA that features El Dorado, a very popular hop right now. It's going to give you some tropical fruit. It's going to give you some earthy kind of a tone, some piney, but we're really happy with the results. But again, it's a seasonal, won't last long, guys, so make sure you scoop it up while you can. Thanks again.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cooking with the Cap Times. Thanks to our presenting sponsors, Sitka Salmon Shares, and our official beer sponsor, Door County Brewing Company, for those video messages. And thank you for joining us tonight. We are at Kessenich for Cooking with the Cap Times with Chef Sujhey Beisser. How's it going?
Great.
Good. good. Of 5 Senses Palate. Like I said, I'm Chelsea DeCane-Drobick, the audience strategist here at the Cap Times. I'll pass it off to our food editor, Lindsay Christians, in a sec. But first, I want to thank our sponsors for making this video event series possible. Sitka Salmon Shares, like I said, use the code COOKWITHCAP to get $25 off the first month of Premium Sitka Seafood Share. Premium Sitka Seafood Share. Learn more about their values and fishermen at sitkasalmonshares.com. We'll drop this code and link into the chat. Our official kitchen sponsor, where we are today at Kessenich. For over 90 years, Kessenich has provided Madison and Dane County with quality products and outstanding customer service. Stop by their showroom to shop like a chef because they're always open to the public. You can visit Kessenich.com for more info. And of course, Door County Brewing Company. We hope you got some Door County Brewing beer to enjoy while watching tonight's event, but we're also giving away a few 12-packs to lucky viewers. There's an entry link that will drop in the chat for a drawing that we'll do after the demonstration is over. Click that to enter. Spoiler, you must be 21 and over to win. So no underage drinking here. A quick plug that if you post any pictures on social media while watching tonight, please tag the Cap Times on Instagram and Twitter. We'd love to see them. I also want to thank any Cap Times members for joining us tonight and for your continued support of local journalism and our newsroom. If you're not a member, you can become one at membership.captimes.com. We'll also post this link in the chat. Without further ado, because again, I've talked way too long. I will now pass it off to Lindsay, who is one of Wisconsin's foremost food writers and critics. Enjoy the event, everyone.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Hello. This is Sujhey Beisser.
Hi, everybody.
She has actually way more experience, I think, doing this kind of thing than I do, which is great. But Sujhey, you have the 5 Senses Palates, which you started how long ago?
About 6 years ago,
okay.
I believe. I can't remember, but it was 2014.
Okay, yeah, so
that's when I started
7.
my blog.
Yeah, and so blog, personal chef, catering.
I don't cater, but I am a personal chef. So the personal chef business kind of came after the blog.
Right,
I created the blog so people could have my recipes and cook them, but then they kind of wanted me to cook them for them. So that's how my business was born.
Yeah, and you've taught classes as well, right?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
I used to teach at the Madison College on the night classes that are non-credit.
Oh yeah, those are the most fun.
Yeah, super fun.
So you chose this fish dish to make today. Can you tell us a little bit about where it came from and where you learned it?
Yes, so this dish is a Venezuelan dish. It's called mojito and coco, and mojito, it's because it kind of like you can dip things in it, usually an arepa, which is the traditional bread of Venezuelan, and the coconut is just the kind of the sauce. So this recipe was a recipe that my aunt gave me last time I visited Venezuela in 2017. As she came to visit me, I had not seen her for probably about, I don't know, 15 or some years.
Oh my gosh.
And when we were around the table, we were talking about, like, you know, what are the recipes that my grandma used to make that we remember. And right away I took a book out, a notebook, and I started writing the recipe as that she was telling me the recipe. I want to get the sad part out because my aunt passed away 2 years ago unexpectedly. And the first thing that I remember was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness that I got, you know, to write all the recipes that she was like telling me. So this recipe is in honor to my aunt who, you know, taught me how to make it just by telling me how to make it. But I obviously made a little few changes actually, because the original recipe she made was with salted cod, and I'm using Pacific cod that is not salted. So I had to make some adjustments, but it's the same recipe. So.
When you use salted cod, do they do that because it lasts longer, or like it's more preserved?
It does. I'm not quite sure, but I know that, like, at least when you buy it in Venezuela, it's just like sitting out in the counter.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like dry. It's completely dry, and then it's a longer process because you have to soak it overnight.
Right. Yeah.
So that it becomes, you know, actually like manageable to cook.
Right.
Yeah, because you wouldn't you eat it when it's so dry. So.
Yeah, and the fish that you're using for this was frozen, and you thawed it overnight?
Yep, it's actually fish from Sitka Salmon Shares.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Because you've been a member for a long time.
For a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's get started.
Yes. Okay. So to go a little bit over what we're going to be doing here, we're going to, well, if you have the recipe, you know that we're going to make the mojito and coco, which is the fish dish. We're going to make some white rice, and we're going to fry some plantains. And that's just pretty much just the way that we serve everything in Venezuela, with white rice and fried plantains. Also, another thing that we use a lot is onoto oil, and that's what we're going to make first. So onoto, or achiote, is a seed from like a little prickly flower. I remember when I was a kid, we used to have a tree in the backyard for a while, then it got taken down. And I never thought that I missed the onoto until it wasn't there anymore. But it's just kind of like a prickly flower, and then when you open it, it has all of these little seeds in there, and that's what gives the oil a color.
Ooh, it heated up immediately.
Yeah, it's really quick.
Incredibly fast.
Anyway,
and it
we're gonna
me,
start
so
by making the oil. I have 1 cup of oil over here, and I'm gonna put 1 spoon of onoto seeds.
This is at 15% on super low.
Yeah, let's just turn it off completely because it's hot.
Whoops. Cool. Great. Okay. Want to see stuff catch fire, you guys? No.
Not here, but if it was on the stove, maybe. Okay.
So it just needs to like get warm and then steep.
It's kind of like
tea.
steeping tea, pretty much. So we're gonna leave it there for a couple minutes. We're gonna start the rice because the rice takes about 20 minutes to cook. And
so if you want to turn that back up, you certainly can. I had just turned it down because I was getting nervous.
Well, we're gonna turn it up just a little bit.
Just a little. Like it came up quick.
I mean, if this is like 118 degrees, it says. Okay.
All right.
So I'm gonna do the rice first. I'm gonna put the garlic after because I don't want it to burn. So we have here 4 cups of rice because we're making double the recipe because we have people here that are going to be eating tonight. Yay!
Hey! In-person taste testers, I love it.
Yes. So
I will come behind you with this water.
Maybe a little. I'm gonna toast it a little bit.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to add just
Risotto style.
a little bit of garlic there.
So if I was at home, I would do this in my rice cooker because I do everything in my rice cooker, and it is the best appliance. It's like half broken, but I won't get rid of it. Like leaks on the counter, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's fine, it works fine. But I love my rice cooker so much.
Okay, so is this?
Yeah, up a little.
Maybe just a little. Okay.
It's weird that there's no flame.
No.
And there's not even really it's just sort of a 234 degrees, whatever that means.
Whatever that means. All right.
Technology.
I can hear it. So
Yeah.
you can probably dump the water in there now. Okay. I'm going to add the salt. So for 4 cups of rice, we have 8 cups of water. Lindsay did all the measurement.
Good Lord in heaven.
No pressure.
All right.
And for that, I'm gonna add maybe 2 teaspoons of salt.
Right in front of my face. Right in front of my face.
So we're going to stir the rice a little bit here, and we're gonna let it come to a boil. This is the only time that we're going to stir the rice. Do not touch that rice after.
So you're using parboiled rice, and I was asking a lot of questions about it, like, why? Does it cook faster? Does it make it taste different? And you said it doesn't stick.
It doesn't stick, and we're very particular, I want to say, in Venezuela with our rice and the way we cook it.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be loose rice.
Got it.
I don't know why that is, but it is how it is.
You can use non-parboiled rice in this recipe, though.
Yes,
Okay.
jasmine rice would work really well, or yeah, I mean, not arborio because that's like short grain.
I have basmati at home.
Basmati would work
Yeah. Okay.
too.
Cool.
So what we have here is the fish. We actually pre-cooked this before, and all it is we put all the fish in here with onion, some garlic, and some bay leaves, and we cooked it for about 10 minutes. Now we're going to drain this, and I'm going to shred the fish, which, you know, it's going to be really easy to do that. Now, when you drain this water, do not toss that water. There is a lot of flavor there, and this is actually the fish fumet that I normally use as a base when I'm making leche de tigre for ceviche. So you can use that water. You can freeze it. Actually, it will last in the freezer for a long time. And you can use that fish fumet as the base even for rice, if you want your rice to take like fish, or any other fish dishes that you're cooking. Let's see. Shouldn't be too hot anymore.
No, it's not bad. It's kind of lukewarm.
Yeah. Ah. Okay, that's good enough. I'm gonna grab in
those.
here. So you can discard the solids, keep the fish water.
So discard the onion.
You can discard that, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. We can
Yeah.
do this. Okay. And
I'm just
then
gonna move
what?
this out of your
yeah.
way.
I thought we had that container right there.
Yes, it's gonna be right there. Hang on 1 second.
And I'm going to. You guys are really quiet, making me nervous. So basically, I'm just going to make sure there is no bones in here.
These are fillets of cod.
Yes, Pacific cod.
Yeah. And they're like ish.
Yeah.
Like maybe even thinner than that, like a 3/4 inch, maybe ½ inch. They weren't super thick.
You could make this with, any white fish. Well, not any, but meaty fish like the Pacific cod. You could probably use halibut, but I probably like to cook halibut more like whole. What else could you use?
You could say that would be an expensive.
Right. Well, with Sitka, actually, sometimes you get halibut burger meat. So I use it for dishes like this or to make empanadas because it's just already like.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we had when you were doing your arepa class, there was a playlist of Venezuelan music. And I listened to that until
What
the class
do you think
started.
of that?
It was really cool and different, and I hadn't heard any of that music before, but it was very fun, and I really liked it a lot. Yeah, but it really gets you in the mood, you know?
Definitely.
Like, yes,
and that was like
good.
very regional music from Venezuela. That, like I said, I mean, obviously when people think of Latin music, you would never think of any of that stuff because that is very regional. So only if you're Venezuelan, you know. When you know, you know. And now you do, Lindsay.
It was fun. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So when this is bubbling, do you want me to pop a lid on it and hit 20 minutes, or not quite yet?
Yeah, let's leave it for another minute or so.
Okay.
And then we want to turn down the heat and cover it. And then it's going to take about 20 minutes from there.
Got it.
But we'll keep an eye on it. All right.
It smells great.
Whoa. Let's not do the garlic.
It
smells good already.
Yes, it does. All those wonderful aromatics in there.
That's why this liquid that comes from here is delicious. All right.
We do have one question from the audience.
I'm gonna go wash my hands.
Ready? We're good, I think. Good. Could you use rockfish or sablefish?
I would use rockfish, but not sablefish because of the consistency of the sablefish. It's a little, I don't know how to call it, but I would rockfish for sure.
Rockfish,
Yes.
for sure. Also, ling cod. What about?
You can use ling cod as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Texture. I feel like it's texture you're talking about, kind
yeah,
of, right?
exactly. The texture, absolutely.
Good questions.
Just how it's going to fall apart here. All right, I'm going to move the jardinera back.
You're ready for the question?
Okay, so next, we're also going to be frying some plantains. So I already cut some here, but I wanted to show you guys how to do that at home if you ever wanted to. So I start by cutting the ends of the plantain here. And
I'm going to cover this, yes?
no, not yet.
I'm like ready. I'm like, yes. Jumping the gun. I'm like so nervous that it's going to go.
Well, once
watching.
it boils more, we're gonna turn it down. We're gonna turn it down, and then we cover it.
Got it. See,
It's getting there. It's getting there.
I'm so reliant on my rice cooker. I don't know how to cook rice anymore. It has taken my
love it.
abilities away.
See, right there. Just turn it down.
Okay.
Probably half of where it's at right now.
130?
That might be a little too low.
Oh, a little too.
That same person who
Oh,
commented
gosh.
and asked a question, Toy Pedrick, said, thanks, I'm looking at what is in my freezer from Sitka.
Yes.
You can get all that stuff from Sitka.
It does sound like it. All right, there. And then just cover it up. And then we'll get back to the plantain here.
All right.
So plantain is just like a banana, except for you can't really eat it raw. You shouldn't eat it raw. You can get sick from that.
I'm
and
really
then
glad
it's
you
also
said
a little, yeah. I mean, I've eaten it. I'm just telling you.
Did it make you sick?
If you eat a lot of it, it would make you sick.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So it's really sweet. It's really sweet when it's ripe, and I have two different, I mean, like this is ripe too, but this is like super ripe. So this is gonna be way sweeter than this one. And when it's green, also we cook it and we actually make tostones. I know that they have a different name too, but then they're more like, say, not as sweet as when they're ripe. They're like salty, more like. So anyway, I cut the ends of the plantain here, and then with a small paring knife, you want to cut through the peel, but not all the way through that you're getting the flesh. And you can do a couple of cuts if you want. And then it should peel just like a banana. When they're green, they're a little harder to peel. Right here, and then I'm gonna peel this one too. So because this one is a little riper, see, like the peel is a lot thinner too.
It's a thinner, yeah.
Yeah? So you gotta, and see, you can see.
And it doesn't matter if it's this ripe, you still can eat it raw.
You can, you shouldn't.
It just
Never
looks
come
so
in your
much
house
like
for
a
dinner,
banana, and it
Lindsay.
smells like a banana.
Going to be sick.
So in Venezuela, mostly we cut our plantains in half, and then we cut tajadas, what we call like a slice. We call them tajadas. I do this, but don't do this at home. You can use a different method because I don't want you to cut yourself, but this is kind of how I know how to do it. But I've been doing it for a long time. So you can cut them this way. These are like tajadas, but I kind of like to cut them a little smaller like this, and then go, and this is probably the way you want to go at home. It's easier to use the board that way. So then you just make them, you know, like little cute little pieces of fried plantain. Anybody familiar with plantains? Yeah? Love it? So plantain was something that we had literally every single day. And we had so many plantain plants in the backyard. Like there is no meal without plantains. If you guys have eaten a la taguara, you know, like pretty much everything comes with plantain. So, okay, so to match those, I'm gonna kind of cut these ones in half, do a little. Okay. So we are going to start frying those in a little bit.
Our oil is like shimmery in a good way. I
Yeah,
feel. Yeah.
I think it's
We
probably
didn't turn it
ready.
on too hot.
But let's just get, the other stuff ready here. So here we have the hot oil, annatto oil, and I don't know if you can see this, but the color, it's like so orangey. And when you've tried like arroz con pollo, and it's like really yellow, this is it. This is my secret. Hallacas, which I know you have tried.
Yes.
This is what we use, like this annatto oil. I make, 1 or 2 cups and I keep it right next to my stove and I use it to cook. And that's what gives my Latin food that kind of orangey, and you can smell it. It's because it's a seed, it's kind of flowery. And actually, I'll pass it around for you guys to smell it if you want.
Oh,
We do have a viewer question.
Yes.
We're ready. Valerie is asking if both green and ripe plantains work in this recipe.
They would. There are different flavor profiles. Like I said, the green plantain actually has to be double fried. So like let's say you had it this way, you would fry it. And then when it's brown, you have to take it out and then you have to press it down and then you fry it again. Because it's otherwise it wouldn't taste very good. So it would work, but it would be a little bit different.
do you ever coat them in anything in terms of like a batter?
No. Wow. You're into something there,
I'm just
Lindsay.
thinking about like frying delicious.
No,
fruit
but I
things.
do cook them in the oven sometimes. You can put butter and sugar, or I usually do maple syrup.
Ooh,
Butter and maple syrup, and then when they're
Sounds
really
good.
ripe with the black peel, then you bake them, and they turn amazing.
That sounds great, and like addresses my reluctance to fry because it's so much oil.
Right, like as quickly as bananas.
So the question
Yes.
was if they turn ripe as quickly as bananas do. In case you couldn't hear that at home.
I think they take a little longer, maybe. Okay, so
All
we're
right.
gonna heat up that for the fish.
Toy at home. We love toy. I think I'm saying it right. Yes, yes, yes. My husband loves plantains. Wait a minute, there's more. Wait, we twice fry them in coconut oil.
Yes.
Ah,
That
thanks,
sounds really
Toy.
good.
Yeah.
I love
we
toy.
want to.
Don't know them, but love them.
Do you know these people for real? No.
I mean, sometimes
I'm just checking.
the early ones, my mom would come and then my mom would ask questions and I'd be like, I can answer this for you later, Mom. Like, I love you, but no, it's amazing. Mom, if you're watching, please ask questions. I love it.
No, I love it. I love it. Yes, please send questions. And it feels better that like we're talking to somebody. And
Yes,
actually, I
yeah.
love that we have people here.
Yeah, this is really nice.
I'm like the awkward person at the late night show, that's like lingering,
just laughing off
just
camera.
standing there like, yeah.
Question for you, so we're going to answer some questions. Can you go to difference over how you make this, how that is different from the fungo?
So repeat it so they can hear it at home. Yeah.
Oh, how different it is from mofongo. Mofongo is Costa Rican, I believe, or Puerto Rican. I actually have never made it, so I couldn't speak to that because I know it has plantain, but isn't that like a? I think it's also like filled, like you filled it with stuff and then you fry it.
Right.
I have never made it myself. I've eaten it, but I've never made it.
Gosh, that's
We got
quick.
one more, you guys. Should we just keep this one more going?
Yeah, do one
One
more.
more question, Barb.
Sure.
Thank you, Barb. Can you ask her how long she cooked the fish and how? So maybe she joined in a little later.
On the water, it was the fish was just covered with water, onion, garlic, and bay leaf, and it cooked for about 10 minutes.
It was really pretty
Yes.
in the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the recipe for that part of it is in the recipe that we sent you. So, and if you need it, Chelsea's got a link to it, and she can put it in the chat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is this getting
Yeah,
okay?
it's quite warm already.
It's getting warm.
It's so
Yeah.
fast. I don't.
I'm not used to cooking on this, but we'll make it work.
This is
So
like-
I'm going to start with just a little bit of oil. I'm doubling the recipe, so I might just add a little more.
When you store this at your house, do you keep it with the seeds in
No,
it? Okay.
I take the seeds out.
You take the seeds out,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna move it way back here.
It's up there, so yeah, anyway.
So, Lindsay,
Yes.
are we gonna?
I'm into the fish.
Let me take a look at the rice. I don't remember how long we have for the rice here, because did you do it?
I did, but I apparently set it for 19 hours. So
We'll see you
It's
tomorrow.
been about 9 minutes, I think. So I'm gonna set it for
9 minutes? Okay. I just wanna-
literally I set it for 20 hours. Okay, cool, amazing. I'm doing great. Let's just like check it after 15 minutes, shall we?
That's why you bought a rice cooker?
Oh my god. A friend of
I
mine's
do.
mom-
I have to say, at home, I use a timer all the time.
Yeah.
Especially because when I'm in the kitchen, I'm multitasking, and I totally forget. You know, how long ago did I put that rice in there? I mean, visually, I will be able to tell when it's ready, but right now I'm trying to figure out when should we start frying these plantains and when should,
Yeah.
So when I'm doing the same thing at home, I always use the timer. It's my best friend, so that nothing burns. Sometimes it does. Still. Okay, so I think this is
Yeah. The oil is moving in a way that says, yes,
okay,
I'm hot.
so we are going to start to make, basically this is the mojito recipe. We have all the ingredients already here. We have onion, garlic, red pepper, tomatoes, and the fish. This is what we call encurtidos, or vegetales encurtidos. Here is jardineria, is that?
Jardinera.
Jardinera.
It looks like this.
You can say it. There you go.
This is the one that we picked up. Where did you get this? Woodman?
Yeah, I got that at Whitman's. And I use the mild one because there's usually like a hot one. But this shouldn't be a hot dish at all. So I use mild. It's going to be good. Okay, now that's a little hot. Let's turn it down. Okay, I'm going to use this.
Toy's back at it, you guys. Toy, I need to meet this person. Yes to a timer for multiple dishes with distractions and or a number of cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Toy.
Speaking my language.
Toy just knew everyone in the room. Speaking of, anybody need another beer? Another Door County Brewing Co. No, we're good? All right. Thank you.
I mean, I time my tea because I am that distracted. Like, I'm like, I don't know when it. I use my Alexa all the time as my timer. Alexa, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way of timing things using your
So I'm starting with the onions here. I just added salt, and I might add a little bit of pepper. I'm doubling the recipe, so I have double of the amount that the recipe actually calls for. And I started with the onion so that my garlic doesn't burn. And then I'm gonna add the garlic in there. And then this dish, just like every dish, like there are different variations of every traditional dish, pretty much from anywhere. But this dish is from a region in Venezuela that's called, it's a state, the name of the state is Zulia. It's actually the state where all the oil is. So it's like the richest state in the country because that is where the, what do you call it, refineries are. Yeah, well, most of them, anyway. Maybe I turned it down too much, huh? Okay, so it smells so good. I'm gonna wait for this to just kind of cook down a little bit, 1 or 2 minutes. Should I move over?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna start frying over here. And Lindsay is going to be making the mojito.
I'm gonna keep an eye on this.
I prepared her for it.
Do you need tongs? Do you want me to grab you
I do have some. Oh, I put them right here.
Oh, okay.
Look at that. Prepared. Got it.
I need a recipe to make the mojito because it's not my recipe.
So you may want to stir that onion a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like these things are not made for short people.
I know, it's not for short people for sure.
Right? I mean, most kitchens are not designed for short people, I have to say. Everything's
So how
way
many
budget
people are
friendly.
actually cooking at home?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, yes. Comment if you're cooking at home, everyone. Toy. We know it. We know it.
When I when I did the arepa class, I made the fillings. I made the arepas too, but my arepas are not so good. But my fillings were great. And so I was just like, I'm just gonna eat the fillings. And I made like extra chicken for my husband, like just in case things went south for me, you know? But part of the reason I love this series is because it's sort of like, yeah, I just tried it at home. If it works, great. Probably it'll be edible. If it doesn't, so what? You know?
You can probably add the tomatoes and
All right.
Suzanne said that she's cooking at home. Way to go, Sujhey.
Yay! Tomatoes, yes, okay.
I lost one.
Where did it go?
It just went down there.
Oh, into the stove?
We're sorry, Kessenich.
We're sorry. We're sorry. We're back in your spot. We're sorry.
But this is how you cook at home, right? When you're cooking with your family, somebody's doing something.
So these are Roma tomatoes. They don't have a ton of the juicy pulp inside.
Right.
They're that kind of like the long, narrow, oblong-y kind of tomatoes.
Yeah. And that's usually my base pretty much for anything that I cook at home is onion, garlic, peppers, sometimes tomatoes. And if I'm using tomatoes, unless it's the summer and with my CSA I get all sorts of different tomatoes, but otherwise I always use Roma tomatoes for, we call it sofrito, is what we start everything
sofrito.
with. Yeah.
Which is tomatoes, onions, and peppers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
Sujhey and I have the same CSA farm. We both are with Vitruvian,
Yeah, Vitruvian.
where my husband does a worker share, which is great. And we were talking about how we're going to use the stuff in our box this week. You got to make a plan for it, otherwise it'll just sort of creep up on you.
Yeah, so talking about sofrito, I always add cumin and smoked paprika. Oh, that one's too big. There we go. So probably about 1 teaspoon. I think that's maybe what I said on the recipe. I'm doing double. Again, make sure my plantains are not burning. This thing back and forth. Don't know about how I feel about that. Okay. And then once you add the spices too, like right away you can smell those spices in there.
So, Sujhey, what does mojito actually mean? Because I listen to the drink with rum.
I know.
Yeah.
In Venezuela, the mojito is just like a sauce.
Yeah, so the
Like
question was, what does mojito mean, the
Yeah.
word mojito? Because I think most of us associate it with the rum and mint cocktail, which I definitely did.
Yeah.
And you said it just means sauce?
It's a sauce, and usually, at least, you know, like, because you can, it's going to be saucy, so you can, mojar is when you make something wet. So that's basically what it means, you know, like you're going to make your rice wet with the sauce or your arepa wet with the sauce. So that's, trust me, I think that's why. But I know, I also think of the rum. Yeah.
I mean, you can have this mojito with a mojito. I mean,
Exactly, totally
I would live my
acceptable.
life. That one I wasn't sure about, so I decided to let him
That's
go
fine.
for a second.
Okay, so that's gonna cook for a couple minutes. I'll continue doing this. Oh, go ahead and add the peppers and this. We're also gonna need a couple of spoons of Dijon mustard. I think it's over there.
Yes, right here.
Yeah.
All right. So these are a very nice diced red pepper. I am much more lax about my dicing. Sort of like hack it to bits. Oh, it smells so good. I think it's that the cumin and the paprika in there are just really lovely aromatics.
So Suzanne said that she's never successfully made plantains. So she's hoping tonight, she can't wait to try them. Hope it's gonna turn out. And you know who's back? Toy's back. Toy said, I wish I was cooking, but my Zoom meetings for work did not end until a few minutes before. We feel you there, Toy. We're done. I mean, we're on Zoom now, but.
We are on Zoom. And like, props to everybody who is on the Zoom right now, because
Yes.
I am a little zoomed out after the past year and a half. So I just love that, you know, people are still tuning in and curious about it. And
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Toy also said, by the way, Every year I plant 3 massive planters of mint, 2 dozen plants for iced tea, mojitos, and fruit salad, but not
got it.
necessarily in that order. Toy.
I love that. My garden is, I can't think about it.
It just
Yeah,
grows.
right.
It does.
Well, and you can't put mint in the ground or you will have only mint forever.
I'm going to season a little bit as you're,
Yeah.
just a little bit of salt.
Okay.
I put some salt on the onions too, but I like to start seasoning, make sure we season everything so that
Yes.
all the flavors get there.
All right, how much Dijon?
That's good. So let's do 1 minute and then we're gonna throw the fish in there.
Cool.
You got
There's
it?
no mustard in there yet.
Oh, yeah, you gotta add the mustard.
How much mustard? 1 tablespoon, but it's 2 tablespoons because we're doubling it. You're not a tablespoon, you're a teaspoon, lies.
We also have Nicole watching from Arizona.
Nice.
So if anybody else wants to comment where they're watching from, that'd be cool to see.
You're right. I mean, I bought whatever these are, serving spoons, or it's measuring spoons, I should say, that are like narrow, like 6 months ago, and it changed my life. You
Yes.
would not think it makes any,
Yeah.
such a stupid little
Did you
thing.
see
and
me
I'm like,
trying
oh
to
my
go in there like,
because this is the wrong shape. Sorry, I'm It's amazing how like a little thing like that, and you think, why did I not do this 10 years ago? I could have been living my best life all this time. Calling it good. Check out my amazing measuring skills.
you got it.
I'm like,
Looking good.
I'm real lax about measuring when I'm home.
Yeah.
So if we weren't watching you here right now, from start to go, how long does it take you to make?
Start what?
How long would, if we were watching you right now, how long would this take you to make this?
How long would the recipe take to make?
Okay,
if-
so the rice takes about 20 minutes to cook. The fish you cook first 10 minutes, and then making this sauce. Right now we're doubling it, so it's taking a little longer to get there. But usually, if you're making the recipe that I actually gave you, it takes about 10 minutes to do this part, 10, 12 minutes. So I would say you can have this whole meal ready in 45 minutes, if you're efficient like me. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we need the.
Doing stories on Instagram.
I mean,
Lindsay,
Then it takes me 2 hours.
Toy does want to know, where did you find the skinny measuring spoons?
Oh yeah.
ye old Amazon Shoppy is where I found them. I don't remember the brand, but they're like, you got it. So this is the thing. I bought. It's a whole rant. So, I bought like these narrow ones before. I found them like the Kitchen Gallery in downtown Madison was going out of business, and I was like, oh cool, narrow measuring spoons. I need those, and I bought them, and then I realized they're all like 2/3 of a teaspoon or like a teaspoon and a quarter. They're all weird measurements, and like that's the shtick of them. Like why you? I don't know
We
why.
gotta put the fish in. Sorry.
Yes, oh sorry. Anyway, so I bought the wrong size. So then I went on Amazon and I think I posted on like one of the 800 Facebook groups that I'm in, like
Fish
how you-
overboard here.
Oh no.
It's all good.
So we kind of, you kind of flaked it apart into little chunks
Yeah.
here. And the fish was already seasoned, like it's got all those aromatics that it cooked in.
It is, but we're still gonna add a little bit of salt.
Yes.
Not a lot, just a little.
It changes how it cooks, chemically or something. Science, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I got them on Amazon and they are amazing and life-changing. It's like $12. Just, yeah, for years of me complaining.
That's so fun. All right. These are coming together. It's coming good in there. Okay, so we can probably pour after you mix it all really well.
Yes.
We can pour then the coconut milk in.
The first time I sent my husband to the store to get coconut milk for a recipe kind of like this, it was not a store brand.
Yeah.
He brought back the coconut milk from the like drink it right away kind of coconut. And I was like, cool. I can definitely. Yeah, it's like from that sort of same area of the, like coconut water. Yeah.
And we are using, so the recipe is about a cup of coconut milk for the 1 pound of fish. But we're doubling the recipe, and we didn't really feel like opening 2 cans for just a little bit. So she's gonna
I'm gonna
put
add
some
a little
water
water
in it.
and
Just make it happen.
Should we introduce our quick in-person audience? We have some celebrities in the house.
Yeah.
So we've got Otelia
Woohoo!
at Madison Eats on that side over there. And we got Dee. Dee's in the house.
Yay!
And we got on this side our Instagram contest winner.
Yay!
I'm throwing this in the range, so I'm not sure if we should put it on camera here. But we have an Instagram contest winner, Emma, and Elliot. And then we've got some Cap Time staffers here, or Capital Newspaper staffers here, Erica and Tyler.
Tyler, is your mom watching?
I don't know. She better be.
She better be. Yeah.
Usually watches.
Yep.
Yeah. And Tyler usually
Hi, Tyler's
tries to
mom.
make it along too.
Yeah, we both cook along, and she usually.
Wait,
does better.
Jill.
Yeah,
Very nice.
that's-
Jill commented 1,000 commas. And that's it. And then she said, hi, Tyler.
I love that the most.
Carol did ask, how long did you fry the plantains?
Ooh, good question.
So yeah, you gotta fry them. It depends on how ripe they are. So there isn't really like a specific time and how hot your oil is, of course. And then we're like shallow frying. So I basically added about, I want to say maybe 2.5 cups of oil to this skillet back here, which is, how many inches is this? Like,
12, I think.
is it?
Is it 12 or is it 14?
It looks bigger, 14 inches.
It might be 14, yeah. I have a 10-inch at home, so everything looks...
Yeah, so added about 2.5 cups of oil in there, get it really hot. And then if the plantain is really, really ripe, like we have some mix in here, so they're cooking at different times. But it should only take like maybe 1.5 minutes per side. When it's not as ripe, like the yellow one instead of the black one, then it might take 2 minutes or so per side. And you'll know, they're really hot right now, but you'll know because they get like really mushy. And then their color is like, you know, really dark brown, golden.
Oh, they smell really
And
good.
you want to turn them over. Once you start seeing that the edges become really brown, then you just turn them over and let them cook on the other side. You could deep fry them too. I don't use a deep fryer at home. So I usually just do them in a frying pan, just like this. Any other questions?
Can you save the
How is
oil
it-
when you're done frying the plantains?
What's that?
Can you save the oil when you're done frying the plantains?
So this is what my mom does, and sometimes I do, but I don't fry them that often, so I
Okay.
usually get rid of the oil. But my mom just keeps the plantain oil basically on the stove because she fries them every single day.
My mom did the same thing, like that, like even like fried chicken. She keeps the oil like weeks. I was like, that's not really safe, but okay. That's what she eats. But like, she does make the best fried pork chops in the world, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
She's feeding ya.
So my mom feeds more oil to the old oil.
That's also she does too.
So
So I turned it down, but I'm turning it back up just a little bit because I know you want this to sort of a wrap.
yeah. So that, Lindsay, we're gonna.
Just want to catch your head.
Ah!
It's all
I
right.
felt that was
It's
falling.
so pretty.
Let me. Okay, I think I have some testing spoons here. Ta-da!
Look at that!
So
Oh my
let's-
gosh, it's like at the ice cream shop.
That's good to go. You can turn it off.
Boop, off. You go off? Off. Ha! I'm just like stabbing at it. I'm like, It's really high tech. I mean, it's not that high tech. But as I said, I relied on my rice cooker for too long. Got very into the Instant Pot during the pandemic. Also,
What do you think, Lindsay?
delicious. Yeah. Very good. I love basically, because of the jardinera, you get like 2 different kinds of peppers. Like it's like a different textural thing happening.
And the jardinera.
Yeah.
I say jardineria, so it's like
What is it encurtido?
encurtidos. Yeah.
Encurtido.
It's also like it has vinegar, so it gives you that little
Yes.
acidity.
My husband puts it on our sandwiches.
Yes. It's on muffulettas.
It's new to me.
It's delicious. Yeah.
It's good, yeah. I don't know why.
I mean, it's not new.
It's so good.
No, you got it. Yeah. This is awesome. And like I don't know why I thought it would.
The rice.
Yes. Woo.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna taste.
Do we
the
need a-
rice too?
Another thing to stir it with.
Tyler's mom commented and said, Tyler, let's make this with our Sitka. So you got a date with mom.
We have our
Can I use this on your rice and
That's beautiful.
fluff it? No. Okay.
Thank you, Jill.
Oh, this looks great though.
I just want to make sure that it's dry all the way through.
It's not dry all the way through.
Yes, I'll tell her.
It's not?
Nope.
Okay, then let's just put the cover back on.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, it needs a few more minutes. And I'm also going to turn this. It's really hard to know how this things
yes.
cook. So turn it over a little.
Does that work? No.
No, you gotta slice
Ah.
it. Ooh, that's a little too much. Huh?
Oh, good.
Just leave it.
Okay.
It should be fine. By the time we're done frying here, the rice should be fine, and then we're ready. How are we doing on time?
Oh, I don't know.
It is 6:50. So you're right on schedule with our estimated 7 p.m. finish, but it's
Great.
flexible.
Amazing.
5 more minutes, we can plate.
Don't you get sassy with me. You stay on there.
Oh, I actually, you know what, Lindsay? I had turned this off because I thought we start plating now.
Which thing did you turn off? That thing? Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. It's still cooking because it's so hot.
Fire stick. Okay.
Fire
Cool.
stick.
This over here.
Let it be known that food editor Lindsay Christians. I love that so much.
Okay. You behave.
Chris is coming around. He's like, do they need my help? I don't know.
We got it.
We got it.
We got it. I have a really crappy electric stove at home, y'all. It's the dream. Put in a gas stove. And they'll have to relearn how to cook on it, but
All of them require fire sticks.
Yeah.
well, when Dan Fox, he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. It's a chef thing. Awesome. Fire stick.
Fire stick.
Stick of fire. Stick of fire.
So, as a bartender, I am. What drink do you want to have a cocktail or even like a spirit you serve with this?
Actually, mojito would be really good. Mojito con mojito. Rum is a very popular
White
spirit in Venezuela, either white or dark. Yeah, we do have some really good rum from Venezuela. Oh, I gave you a bottle.
Oh,
Yes, yes. So,
that's gonna be. I'm gonna find him one day.
have a till I feed you some Venezuelan rum. And I also have some Cuban rum
There we go.
that she brought me
It's a
back.
party.
Yes.
I need to be invited to this.
Doing the thing I told you not to do.
No, it's good.
Yes, it's good.
Yeah,
I
I
just
think it
don't-
was a little too low at first, just
Yeah.
because it's hard to tell how that is cooking. I'm just gonna start putting these things.
It's not
Together.
overflowing. It's just hitting down here because our lid is the wrong size.
It also,
Which is fine.
fine. That's exactly what happens at home.
Yes, exactly.
Can't find the lid.
Just use whatever's big. Like I make popcorn with a lid because I don't have a lid that fits it, and so I just have to hold it down, shake it like this. Yes.
I've used up like a ceramic plate as a lid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ceramic plate as a lid, like a sheet pan as a lid, whatever. Sheet pan lid.
Sheet pan.
It works.
To the fire starts.
Like, well, you know, you make it work. Yeah, my arepas were a disaster, but you know what? I tried it, and it was fun, and I ate all the filling. But it was just fun, and and it was sort of like, you know, with the parboiled rice. It's like that's not an ingredient that I would normally pick up. Like I now have the masa arepa, the cooked corn flour.
Yeah, there's many things we make with that. Well, the hallacas are made with that same flour.
Oh yeah, okay.
Arepas, empanadas, we use that flour too. And we fry them. What else? I mean, there's so much. Mojitos, we call them. It's just like basically like tamales.
Ooh, nice.
You can make like hallaquitas de chicharrón, so you put chicharrón and then the flour and some sofrito in there, and then you wrap them in corn husk.
Yeah.
And then you boil them, just like tamales, but we call them hallaquitas. Yeah.
They're like, are they like hallacas but smaller?
They're tiny, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They usually serve them, with barbecue when we cook out like meat and parrilla, we call that. The cooking meat out in the barbecue.
When you visited your family in 2017 and you were writing down all of these recipes, were there other ones that you picked up that you have made?
I did. I actually had like a whole list on my notebook of things that I wanted to post on my blog, and I haven't. I sometimes I make them at home, of course, but it's just finding the time to do all of it. I take my own pictures of my food, obviously, so it's just finding the time to do that.
Yeah. I often find that once I've like gone through the process of cooking something, I don't want to bother with the photo. I'm just sort of like, ugh, let's just sit down. Like I'm ready to do the thing. So it's,
Yeah, my family's used to when the dinner is ready, they know they're not gonna eat for another 10 minutes or so. Until I'm like putting everything over here. Sometimes I plate one and I'm like, you guys can eat, and then I bring the plate over, to where I take my pictures, and then they start eating.
Yeah.
All right, how is the rice now?
Almost there.
Turn this off.
Getting closer. Let me turn her up just a little bit. Everything's a girl because Jonathan Van Ness makes everything.
Yeah. I sometimes when I go to cook at people's homes for my business, they have this kind of stove.
Yeah.
I don't. I never like them. I can never figure them out.
We do have a popcorn making tip.
Ooh.
From Barb.
Love it.
She said, Lindsay.
Yes.
Popcorn turns out better if you don't use a lid, but use a splatter screen instead. This allows the moisture to dissipate, and the popcorn is more crisp.
Really?
That's a pretty good tip, Barb.
That is.
I have a splatter screen. I could do that tomorrow.
What is the splatter screen?
Oh, it's like when you make bacon, and you want it's like a thin mesh. It's probably one around here, but it's like this texture.
Okay.
But it's a flat screen. It goes plop over your pan, so that your whole stove doesn't become a full mess.
I need to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah. I have them in multiple sizes, and I actually had to retire some recently because the screen part of it was pulling away from the edges. They're also a pain in the butt to clean, but worth it. But yes, that's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
It's a very good idea.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have to hold it down as hard. But I always make my popcorn in a saucepan because that's how my mom does it. And
it's the best that way. Yeah.
You have to keep the moisture in. Like I didn't realize that.
you want to let the moisture. That's a good point. Like, you don't have to keep the moisture in.
All right,
I was
think
using
we're gonna
nutritional yeast, which is
serve.
delicious.
Can you grab me one of your plates? I'm gonna serve at least one, because what time is it?
You want my beer?
This one. We're gonna start with the rice. I think it might need a little on the bottom, but this is ready. And see how it is loose,
Yes.
even though it's still a little wet, but the top one is good. It's completely loose. That's just how we do it.
Nice.
So there is your rice. Oh, I thought I brought here. Where did I put it? Didn't I bring like a spoon? I feel like I did.
You did. I don't know where you put it.
Right here.
Oh, right. Okay.
Ah, there you go.
You talked about it and then I never saw it.
This looks really good. So So there's your mojito right there. Put some more fish in there. And I'm gonna grab some plantains here. And I made this off camera, but this is basically red onion, jalapeno, and sweet pepper mixed in with lemon juice and olive oil. And I just use that as a garnish to make it look pretty, give it some color.
Are there herbs in there too? It looks like
There is dry oregano too. So we're just gonna make a little mound of this on the top, just like that.
so good.
And there is your dish.
Beautiful. Oh, and cilantro.
Oh yeah. Let's not make a mess here. And if you like cilantro, you can sprinkle some cilantro on top, make it look pretty, give it some flavor. And that's it.
That's gorgeous. That looks delicious.
Yes.
Thank
Well,
you.
I hope if you're cooking at home that it turned out as good, and I'm sure it did. And if you're cooking later with the recipe, same thing. I'm always available for questions when you're cooking. I'm used to people asking me like, what do I do right now? I'm like, sometimes I don't see the text right away. I'm like, sorry. Did it burn?
Did it burn?
Yeah, no.
So
It's all good.
before we go,
Yeah.
people can find you at 5 Senses Palate.
Yep, number 5, número 5, Senses Palate. So at 5 Senses Palate on Instagram and Facebook, and my website is 5sensespalate.com.
Yeah, and I wanted to just, before we go, I wanted to give you one chance to plug. You're doing a really cool event with REAP this
Yes,
summer.
absolutely.
So Burgers and Brew is going to look a little bit different for
Yes.
REAP. REAP is such a cool organization.
It is a good organization about connecting the farmers with the food, and
Yeah.
so the Burgers and Brew event is going to look a little bit different this year. Well, we started planning a lot earlier, and because of COVID and not knowing how everything was going to turn out, it's actually going to be a contest that starts on July 1st. So all of you could enter the contest, send your best burger recipe, and you have the whole month of July to do that, and there is a grand prize for the winner. And actually, I'm going to be a judge, so better watch out. Better be good. So yeah, we're going to have actually a panel of chefs, farmers, brewers doing the judging, and then there will be a drive-through on August 28th, I believe is the date.
Yep.
They'll have a drive-through at the brewery. So stay tuned for that. All the information will be coming out really soon. But it's gonna be fun.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yay,
for
thank
having
you.
me. So fun. Thank you guys.
I'll just come back out quick to thank our sponsors, Sitka Salmon Shares, which was featured in this recipe. If you need the recipe again, we can post it in the chat or we can email it to you. We also want to thank Door County Brewing Company for being our official beer sponsor. And of course, Kessenich, where we are in this wonderful kitchen. Make sure you come out and shop like a chef here. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Lindsay.
Thank you.
And everyone, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for being here. I am so excited to eat this. This is going to be great.